Hello, and welcome to episode 45 of Bonfire Man. Here's how Bonfire Man works. I'm locked to specific chunks in the game. I have to interact with everything in my unlocked chunks exactly once. So that means every tree needs to be chopped, every enemy needs to die, every resource needs to be consumed. When I interact with something, it is exhausted. When something is exhausted, that means I'm not allowed to interact with it again. I'm allowed to randomly unlock a new chunk whenever all of the entities in my current chunks have been so exhausted. When I enter a new chunk, I rest at a bonfire, as in the Souls games. Resting at a bonfire refreshes or unexhausts all of the content in previous chunks that I've already been to. Now I have to exhaust all entities in both the old and new chunks to continue to progress. My objective is to unlock every chunk in RuneScape. According to my estimates, I think that's going to take about 10,000 hours to complete. If you're interested in all the specifics, minutiae, minor rules, exceptions, that kind of a thing, there's a Google Doc in the description that lists all of that. Let's go ahead and get to the playthrough. Alright, so today's new chunk isn't terribly exciting, unfortunately. We did get to roll 3 chunks last cycle. We got the Pest Control Lobby, which is amazing for the account in terms of like runes. We got Castle Wars Lobby, which is mostly empty, but gets us a few more trees to chop and that sort of thing. And then we can't do anything really in the Lighthouse. We can't build the Hard Stash, we can't do Horror from the Deep until we do Alfred Grimhand's Bar Crawl. So this episode is mostly going to be retreading prior content, although there's a lot of interesting stuff to be done there. Okay, here we are at the chunk border. Let's go ahead and cross the fog wall. Cool. And light the bonfire. Music track unlocked there. Nice, and of course, let's rest at it. Okay, there's nothing here. There's 3 trees to chop, and then I can jump over these basalt rocks. I think that actually gives a very small amount of agility XP. I guess I'll hop onto the island and then hop back, and then it's time to work on other stuff. If there's one rule I kind of regret with this account, it's requiring quests to be completed for chunk completion and for... Oops, I didn't do that. I guess that initial jump doesn't give XP anyway. If it didn't require quests for chunk completion, and if I was allowed to skip chunks if the only thing to do there was a quest, it does give a very small amount of agility XP, it looks like. 6 for crossing. Yeah, and there's a fairy ring here that I can't use. I can't get into the lighthouse. I might be able to talk to her. I'll see how far I can take this. I have to fix a bridge over here that I can't get to. You do not meet all the requirements to start Horror from the Deep. That's right, because I don't have Alfred Grimhand. I think if I had Alfred Grimhand, I could at least get inside, and then I wouldn't be able to finish it due to not being able to do everything over here. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and cross back over here. It's gonna be like 3 more agility XP, and then we're gonna start working on old cycle stuff. Howdy folks, welcome to the objectives overview. If you would like to skip this, there is a time code in the description or in the play bar. Just jump back to the playthrough. This is the current state of the chunk map after today's episode. We're going to start by looking at 100% completed chunks in which we've exhausted all of the content at least once. Content in these chunks is optional. We can skip it if we want to. And some skills enjoy unique benefits in 100% completed chunks. You can see those skills on the screen here. Short version is more woodcutting, more fishing, more thieving, more mining, more agility, and more shop purchases. Change from the previous episode, we now have access to the magic shop in the Void Knight outpost, which means that the shop stock will refresh every cycle. This is the first time in about 1,000 hours that we have reliable access to runes, so it's going to be pretty exciting once we start working on magic training. We want to 100% complete as many chunks as possible. Let's talk about the chunks that we can't complete. These chunks here are all quest blocked, and that includes the most recently unlocked chunk, the Lighthouse. The rules for quest block chunks will be adjusted next episode, but these are the block chunks as of right now. Here's the projection for how the map is going to change next episode. About 10 of the currently quest block chunks are going to be completable after next episode. Note that this doesn't include the Lighthouse, so the adjustment we're making on quests applies to both our rules for skipping the bonfire and our rules for 100% completing the chunk. It's still slightly harder to 100% complete a chunk than it is to skip the bonfire. If the rule adjustment had been active for this episode, we would have skipped the bonfire and the lighthouse because there's nothing else exhaustible to do there, even if you can get inside of the building. But it will still be quest blocked after the rule change because there's still content inside that we can't get to, including a hard stash that we're going to need to build. And here are the projected perks we're going to gain as a result of the rule adjustment. I've talked about this in prior episodes, but as you can see, we're going to get another agility course, a few more shooting stars, we get to save a ton of time on chopping regular trees because finally we'll be able to skip the 400 or so regular trees in Draenor Manor alone. And if you want to hear more on this, just watch a couple episodes back to see me go over it for the first time. After quest blocked chunks, we have skill blocked chunks. We need 82 construction for 2 of these chunks to build master stashes, which will probably never happen, and 50 and 70 agility for the Falador rooftop course and the Polnavniche rooftop course, respectively. Those ones are a little bit more reasonable, especially 50 agility. We'll probably be able to get to 47 and then boost with an agility potion to complete that course. While we're on the topic of skills, talking about Slayer, I am still blocked from being able to train Slayer because I have a Desert Lizard task, and Desert Lizards only spawn in the 3 marked chunks on the map there. Unfortunately, I cannot use Turiel to skip the Desert Lizard task because it's one of the tasks that Turiel can assign. And since we're talking about Slayer for skill blocked chunks, I'll also use this opportunity to talk about combat and NPCs and monsters. Starting next episode, we're going to clarify what it means to say that a chunk has new enemies in it. There are a lot of functionally degenerate monsters in RuneScape in that they have the same drop tables or similar drop tables, they're not really providing any new resources for the account. So starting next episode, for a monster to count as new for the purposes of requiring us to light a bonfire, it needs to meet one of the following 3 requirements. It either 1, needs to drop a new resource that we previously did not have access to, or 2, it needs to drop gear that is a direct flat upgrade or side grade to the gear that we already have. So if it drops gear that we previously didn't have access to but have no use for, if it's lower stats than the gear that we already have, it doesn't count as a new monster. And then finally, if the monster is part of a new Slayer task that we previously didn't have access to, it also requires us to light a bonfire. So a couple people in episode 44 called out a mistake I made. At the end of that episode, I rolled the Castle Wars lobby, which is a reroll chunk because there's no new content there. Now, as a general rule, I'm okay with killing things from other chunks that wander into my chunk naturally, so long as they actually walk into the chunks that I have unlocked, and I don't have to, pull them over the chunk boundary. An example of where this was relevant earlier in the playthrough, we rolled a wilderness chunk to the south of the Ent Forest, and the Ents in the Ent Forest wander south into that chunk. I was able to kill the Ents that wandered into my chunk, and this meant that later on when we actually rolled the Ent Forest, it became a reroll chunk because it wasn't new. We already had access to the Ents and that they wandered to the south. Now, the mistake that I made in episode 44, and thank you to FF Fanatic and for the glory of Bob Dole for pointing this out because I didn't think about it at all, I considered the Castle Wars lobby chunk a reroll chunk because there was no content there, but on the edge of the Castle Wars lobby chunk are ogres who can wander across the chunk border into Castle Wars lobby. So I was like, hey, I'm going to kill one of these ogres so that we don't have to worry about ogres forcing a bonfire light in a future cycle. Now, Bonfire Man has some rules flexibility as we've discussed, but a core philosophy that we can never break is the concept of no double dipping. This was double dipping because I was already considering the Castle Wars lobby to be a reroll chunk because there was no new content. If I also pulled new content across the chunk border, I'm double dipping. I'm benefiting from it twice. So originally I thought, hey, with the episode 46 change, this doesn't actually matter because ogres don't drop anything. All they drop are seeds, and we already have access to all the seeds on their drop table from other sources. But that's not actually true because ogres are a Slayer task and a unique Slayer task category that we previously didn't have access to. So the way we're going to handle this is I'm just not going to treat ogres as an unlocked entity on the account. That means that when we roll a chunk that actually has ogres in it in the future, it will force a bonfire light. So again, thank you to those of you who pointed that out. There are flexible rules on this account, but I don't get to cheat. And in this case, it was an honest mistake, and I don't think it's got any lasting impact to the account. All right, back to the overview. Item blocked chunks, there are still just the 2. We need a bird snare and a big fishing net to finish the soul isle. And chunk blocked chunks have content on the edges that we currently can't get to. When we roll the nearby chunks, we'll be able to finish them. And that is it for the overview. Let's go ahead and get back to the playthrough. Oh man, this is like Swampoletics with the bridge energy here. I'm gonna die. You get like 8 damage every time you fall. I'm getting like 1 agility XP each time. Okay, I finally made that jump. All right, that's all I can do here. I'll mark these as exhausted. I guess since I'm here, I'll start working on the trees here. Working on mining here and got a quiz random. Here's the mystery box. Let's see what we get. A casket. Again, the only thing that I care about from this is the cosmic talisman, and only if we are able to actually get into Zenaris. 20 coins. Okay. All right, I've got my first shooting star here. Unfortunately, it's a bit late. It's been down for like 30 minutes, so I'm only going to get 90 minutes of AFK out of it, but take what I can get. All right, finish the star. I got about an hour, 35 minutes out of it, which isn't too bad. Just waiting on the next star to spawn here. All right, got a Remington star here. Let's go. I cleared the chat to protect their privacy, but somebody showed up, and usually when people show up, I just say, hey, you know, no worries if not, but I'm a restricted account. This is the only star I can mine. Any chance I can give you another location, right? And people sometimes just have chat turned off, whatever, or they say, no, sorry, I'm only here for a few minutes. And I don't, you know, it's not cool for a restricted account to come here and tell people what to do. But this person asked me to give them a bond to make them go away. Last time I got extorted in RuneScape, it was like right when Group Iron launched and everybody was camping the mages in ZMI to get a rune scimitar. So literally every world was full. And some dude showed up in an infernal cape and a scythe and just started killing the mages to deny kill credit and said to pay him 50 million GP and he'd be off. It's funny stuff. It's funny stuff. Level 84 mining. I can now boost to 85. The person who extorted me has their alt tier 2. Oh well, I still got like an hour and 40-ish minutes out of it, which is pretty good. All right, here's my first pay dirt sack, hoping for lots of gold nuggets. Ooh, that's not good. 1. All right, here's my final deposit. Let's get lucky. It's luckier. Still under, I should be getting 6 or so per cycle, but I'll take 4. Haven't done combination runes in a while, and I've accrued some talismans, so I'm going to use them here. I only have the 1 fire talisman, so I'm going to make lava runes at this ruin, and I'll see what else I can make. Just did lava and mud runes. I actually don't have as many talismans built up as I thought I did. No wonder I haven't done them in a while. Yeah, I have 1 more water talisman, 1 air talisman, and 3 earth talismans. I guess I can use those 2. I can make lava runes and mud runes at the water altar. All right, last cycle was disastrous when I tried to do the Draenor agility course. Got it in like 4 laps, so hoping for bad luck, good luck. Anything more than 10 is great. No luck. This is my 7th lap, so a little bit better than last cycle, but I might still get an agility level from finishing this, doing the Alcarid course and the monkey bars, but it's going to be a long time until we can do that Falador course. Got a shooting star here at the Asgarnian mine. Done with all the other mining tasks, so just shooting stars left. Just popped out of a maze random. Okay, iron arrows, chaos runes, nature runes. Someone else is here too. I'm not having a great cycle in terms of getting these solo. Yeah, I only ended up getting a total of like an hour and 12 minutes out of that, so not a great cycle for me in terms of shooting stars. Working on thieving and got an easy clue that I'm actually going to be able to finish here. It's a 4-stepper. There's our casket. Had some bad luck with these, so hopefully we get something good here. It's another black pickaxe. But no, that is not something good for now. All right, about to get a thieving level up. 63 thieving. Oh god, not attack. Trying this again. I'm about to get a thieving level up here. There it is. 63 thieving. 2 to go until 65, which is the summer garden. All right, using super compost here to plant watermelon seeds. I have just enough for both patches. I was able to pickpocket 1 more from the master farmer while I was doing my thieving training. Okay, we'll come back and harvest this later. Should hit 40 agility here on the zip line. Agility's gotten really frustratingly slow. Can I use the Canifus course? Maybe one day. And unlocking the agility arena would be huge for this account. I really hope that happens. Agility, we got to get to 47 to use agility potions for the Falador course, and then that should speed things up a bit. Obviously, the best chance of that happening, other than unlocking the agility arena, is getting the lamp to hit 17 hunter, and then lamping agility again. I'm hoping that's going to be decent-ish XP. All right, got a shooting star over here by Mage Training Arena. Hopefully I get 2 hours for once. Ooh, finally got a 2-hour shooting star. A little over 2 hours, actually. That was nice. I got some editing done. Okay, I have a few more of these to do. All right, got one at Alcarid Mine. Somebody showed up here at the end of the star, but it's going to be like an hour and 45 minutes, which is still pretty good for me, so I'll take it. All right, sadly, best I can do for this star is a tier 2. This is not my cycle for shooting stars. Got another shooting star here. I might have to finish this one up on mobile. Hey, that player who tried to extort me is back. Their alt account. I think I was already here for close to 2 hours anyway, so I'm not really missing out on anything, but still, wonder if this is going to be a recurring villain. All right, I got the last star here. Unfortunately, it's a T2, but what are you going to do? Not a great cycle. They still did get a decent amount. I've got 300,000 plus mining XP, so it could be better, but could also be a lot worse. Okay, heading into Temporos. You know, I think doing this solo method for 10 permits is actually easier and faster than doing it in masses. Like, it's significantly more AFK. You get way more permits per minute. It's great. I'm a big fan. All right, let's see what we get here. Casket's potentially interesting. Okay, I needed more spirit flakes. I'm running out of those now that I have the fish barrel. Okay, nothing super exciting. What's in the casket? 69 silver bars. Nice. Got 57 zeal. I actually just realized that I'm not on a Soul Wars server. I think from what people have been saying in chat that this is a Venezuelan gold farm. I'm gonna take advantage of it because it's still Soul Wars the game. It's just everybody is colluding to not PvP. What they seem to do is everybody goes to the avatar and just fights the avatar, and then there's like 1 or 2 people that are responsible for moving back and forth and alternating the kills to give shield to different people. And then once the avatar kills are up to 4 and 4, everybody just runs to the middle, stands in the center obelisk area, and then somebody leaves and comes back to like change the balance of power from the blue team to the red team. Until everyone gets enough points to get 60 zeal. I didn't do it exactly right, so I only got 57 zeal. So according to my rules, I'm going to go back in and maybe I'll get, you know, close to 120. I don't want to like rat on any of these people. It's kind of an interesting strategy to just do Soul Wars without actually like fighting each other. I don't know if they're always on this world either. Yeah, we all just go to the avatar over there. Everyone colludes and just attacks the avatar until it's dead 4 times. I guess there's like 1 player who's responsible for switching sides. And then everybody runs the middle, and we wait in the middle. I guess there's like 1 player that switches the balance over and over, because maybe you get points whenever you are counted as having capped a zone. I don't know. It's a pretty cool trick. They're not doing anything illegal. They've just all agreed to get like 60 people together to collude on this. I probably won't be able to find them again. They called me a gringo. I assume after I showed up, they're going to switch worlds sometime, but it was neat for this cycle. I'm probably going to get 117 or so zeal. Yeah, and then once people survive enough switches, we all just run over here and collectively, everyone using basically the same weapon, whacks this thing. It's amazing. This is arguably cheating, but they're not breaking any rules. There's nothing that says you can't all join the same world in Soul Wars and collude like that. Okay, 52 zeal. That's still pretty good. I can't quite get 4 boxes, but I can get 3 here. All right, got my 3 spoils of war. Let's see what we get here. That's pretty terrible. It's still pretty bad, but not as bad. And 172 coal. That's what we're here for. Excellent. I got a Quizmaster random right after that Soul Wars game. Let's see what we get here. All right, mystery box. What we, do I have a... Okay, I have a Ring of Wealth equipped. 1 body rune. 69 attack. Nice. So it's technically the RuneScape birthday event. So far I've been really lucky and I've been able to do all of these events because I happen to already have the relevant chunks unlocked, so I'm going to try to do it real quick. We talk to Patty Sear first. I like Warm Hands the Chef. This is cute. Oh, wow. Party Pete and Falador. I have the party room unlocked. I keep getting lucky with these chunk unlocks for these holiday events. I saw that Archmage Cedrador was here. I would be amazed if it actually had the right-click teleport option, because then I could finish Enter the Abyss, but no dice. All right, Cake Off Judging cutscene. As usual, this has been pretty funny. Scrynet viewers. Some good Elvarg jokes earlier, too. Speaking of Elvarg, I really love how much work they put into these events. Oh, cool. They refer to Warm Hands as they. Non-binary goblin. Oh, well, that's the end. Dragon Candle Dagger, birthday outfit, birthday plush. All previous birthday rewards, and a ton of songs? Actually, not that many songs, but still. Okay, I'll go over to Draenor Village and see if I want to end up wearing any of these things. 10th birthday cape is pretty cool looking. A lot of these are actually pretty cool. I like this silver. Oh, that might need to replace. That definitely looks like that could be in a Souls game. There's a lot of like crowns like that. I've enjoyed this kind of like Ring Wraith, Dark Wraith looking fashionscape, but I think we're going to switch to this, and I'll see if there's other things I can pick along with it. I'm a big fan of that. Dragon Candle Daggers also, that's pretty on brand, I would say. I don't know if I've ever really carried a weapon with me, especially since I usually have to have a tool if I have a skilling outfit, but yeah, like a candle weapon like that would fit. The whole set here is pretty good, but I probably don't want to use all of it because some of it's a little bit too on the nose, like with the RuneScape logo and stuff, but I'm going to start with the silver party hat and see if I can piece together a new fashionscape based on that. I guess I'm going to head to Diongo really quick and see what all he redeems for me. Okay, unfortunately, I don't know which of these are for which event. I can figure some of them out, obviously, but they're not ordered. So I guess I'm just going to take some of them out, play with them, and I'll report back if I think any of them look good for this. Actually, the Starface one is, that's soulsy as hell. Oh, wow, apparently that was from the Christmas costume. I could have done that the whole time. All right, well, I'll see what other options there are here. Missed the cursed banana last time. I've seen people walking around with it. Oh, shoot, I don't actually want to attack this guy. Hold on. This is also pretty great, though. It has pretty strong patches energy. I probably won't use it since it actually uses an inventory slot, but I think I got something coming together here. I'm kind of torn between the Starface, which I think is like soulsy as hell, and so is the silver party hat. I haven't had my face on thumbnails for a while, so I think I'm going to go with the party hat, but I might try to make the Starface work later because I really, really like that. It's so weird looking, but this is kind of nice. This is the 20th anniversary top with the witch's cape and bottom. And I'll check a couple more things just to see if anything looks better than this bottom. The Jad plush is pretty great, but I think I need to keep my hands free. So yeah, I think this is gonna be my new outfit. I like it. 20th anniversary top, silver party hat, the witch cape, witch robes, and then anti-Santa boots and the beekeeper's gloves. Looks pretty cool. At 45 farming. That 45 farming level is gonna let me boost to plant jangerberries, so I'm gonna try to do that in the bush patch later. Just got another chaos talisman from skeletons, pretty rare drop. All right, planting my first ever jangerberries. I'm not gonna protect it because it costs 6 watermelons, and I have plenty of seeds. I cleared out the dwell berries. I'll go ahead and put a super compost here. I don't think this matters at all, but I'm over here in Burthorpe doing my PVM, and I got steel claws. Don't think I can use them for anything. They look cool, though. There it is. 70 attack. 3 more to go, and I'll switch to defense. All right. Jangerberry patch worked out. Didn't die. So I'm just going to leave this up and harvest it once per cycle. All right. I'm over here at Calphite Queen. My markers are screwed up. Actually, most of my object markers for like trees and stuff are screwed up this cycle, so I'll have to figure that out later, but hopefully this goes okay. I just pulled it based on muscle memory. Triggered phase 2. Hopefully we don't get that bug again where she just can't be damaged. Okay, got the kill. Let's see what we got here. Rune chain body. All right. I think that's my first ever super restore, though. It's not too bad. All right, I'm finally done with combat tasks, so I just have a few things to wrap up here. The usual smithing bars, Giant's Foundry, Last Man Standing. I do still need to go and do Barbarian Assault. We're going to get the Ranger hat this cycle, and then we can start doing gambles next cycle. Still going to get the boots, but I'll be able to do the low gamble and the high gamble, and then just all gambles from that point forward. I have some excess coal this cycle because I've only been using it with catalysts, so I think I'm just going to use all my catalysts on adamantite ore, and then I'll try to match that number just normally smelting mithril bars. We'll see. I'll probably dig into my stores of coal a little bit, but I'm trying to get some more foundry reputation to get some more catalysts for next cycle. All right, here in Giant's Foundry, I've got probably more bars than I've had in any other cycle, so we'll see how much money I end up making from this and how many catalysts it leaves us with. All right, so my last sword here, it's just barely gonna get me to 76. 76 smithing. I'll make adamant long swords. I am probably gonna boost to get the next mold, because I guess you can boost to buy the mold and you can boost to use the mold. And I should have enough Dwarven Stouts to be able to accomplish that, but that's not till 78, I think, is the earliest I can do that. Ended up only being about 70 smithing catalysts after I factored in the catalysts I needed to buy and then spend to immediately make a couple more bars here. But cash is looking better. I depleted my cash stack to get all these runes when we unlocked the Void Knight outpost, and I wanted to rebuild. So we're back up to like 250k. I still have to spend a chunk of that on construction training, but we'll still be at least above 100k, and I should also be able to afford the Rune Doku box. I guess I'll go grab that now. All right, buying the Rune Doku runes, pretty expensive this round. Only 25 law runes, but still way more than enough. Man, I am having a bad time at Barbarian Assault right now. It's not good. I think I'm on like a 6 or 7 game streak where people leave before the Penance Queen for different reasons. Some of them leave because they've got enough points for their torso or whatever. I've been doing great. I'm doing fine. I'm getting good points. I just got to do Collector and Healer. And hopefully soon here, I guess next cycle, I do have to get points in all roles one more time to get the boots. But after that, if I'm just going for gambles, I can focus on one role, and I'll probably focus on Defender, since that seems to cause the most, like, angst. I just had the roughest run that actually completed the Penance Queen. Like, the Defender, we had to launch her down every last runner. It was... I can't believe people didn't leave, to be honest. All right, I just need to get Collector, and then I'm done. Okay, forming a group here with somebody I taught Defender to. You know, I got at least one person who's good. I'm hoping to maybe get enough points from this whole round that I have 100 Collector points left over at the end, which means I will never need to do Collector again. Like, obviously you'd want to do Collector because it's the easiest role, but if you're somewhat competent at Barbarian Assault, it's the role you want the least because nobody ever needs a Collector. There's not a lot you can do to, like, turn the tide. Like, if you're a good healer, that can save a group. If you're a good defender, that can save a group. Pretty much anybody can do Collector. Well, I had somebody else leave on, like, wave 7. But I've got enough points to get the stupid Ranger hat. So I am going to have to do a little bit more Collector next cycle. But after that, I'm just going to be able to do gambles. Thank goodness. Ranger hat. Yeah, accept. Cool. Extremely silly looking. But that's what we'll be using from now on. Okay, so since we're skipping the gambles for that, I'm going to mark those complete, along with skip gambles, Ranger hat. Mercifully, next cycle we're going to do the low gamble, the high gamble, and then I'm going to spend the medium gamble points on Penance boots. And then I don't think there's any other uniques that I want from this. But this is going to be my best in slot range helm for a really long time. I think the next thing that'll compete with it is a God D'hide helm, which we'll probably never see or not see for a long time because we're probably not going to do a hard clue for a while. I'm going to go try to boost to mine Runite ore. I think I have enough of these Dwarven Stouts for that to be worth doing. Next cycle, I'll just be 85, not have to worry about it. So I'll bring a handful of these. After that, I've got construction, last man standing, and I got a little bit of shop. All right, here's my first Runite ore. We'll see if I'm actually able to mine it before it despawns. Rather before the buff runs out or some bot shows up and tries to mine it off me. Got it, not too bad. All right, I gotta find the other one now. Oh my god, the other one's available on this world. I'll see, this guy might gank it from under me, we'll see. Yep, he sure did. All right, I'm just gonna keep hopping until I get one. It must have, like, just spawned because there's people on, like, literally every world right now. All right, that wasn't too bad. I only need to use one boost. Sweet, I'll move that out of block tasks then. All right, Runite ore is now listed in my mining tasks. Sweet. Shops and construction, and then last man standing, and then we're done. Just finished all my construction training, and I have 263 XP to go to 58 construction. I don't have any other way to get more XP right now. All right, I've just got last man standing left to do. I remembered to show you my supply usage before popping in there. All right, first game was 2 points. Just 1 point in the 7 game, not great. Not a great cycle for me for last man standing. I get another 2 points, I'm up to 5 now. Up to 6 points, okay, one more. Definitely one of my worst cycles ever for last man standing, but I ended up getting exactly 7 points, so I'm just going to turn those in for Eddie Arrows here. Okay, folks, it's the end of the cycle. Let's go ahead and summarize everything. Here is the live split timer there. 42 hours, 17 minutes was quite a bit faster than last cycle, just didn't have as much of a grind this time around. 44 days, 14 hours of playtime so far. All right, here's the XP review. Kind of typical for mining being the highest, attack being next highest. Everything did pretty well this time around. This all looks pretty standard, although you'll notice no Hunter XP. We didn't get any good random events this cycle. Here's the delta. This is the change from last cycle. So we did get a big boost of smithing XP, about 64k more just from making more bars than we usually do. Everything else is pretty close to what it has been in the past. Attack and range down a little bit. Mining down a little bit because we weren't as lucky with shooting stars. And of course we didn't, grind crafting for 358k XP like we did last time. As far as actual upcoming exciting levels, we will hit 85 mining next episode, which means I can just mine that Runite ore without having to boost for it, which is cool. Really the only other big thing is 17 Hunter. I was hoping to get that this episode, but we just didn't get lucky. And I guess 65 thieving, which we still have a ways to go on. I'm guessing 3 or 4 more cycles. I was missing something. I usually do this first. Skull Tracker. Just going to pop into these real quick. Feel free to pause if you want to review any of these. Added the runite ore for mining. I did do these, although I screwed up the Unbearded Bandit and pickpocketed the same number, so I still need to make up for a past cycle, so I'll be deleting these 3 and keeping this one for next time. Optional tasks, and then combat tasks I'm showing you now. Again, just feel free to pause. It's all the stuff I kill every cycle. Look at the loot tracker. Excellent. Random events. Go all the way back to the last dunce we got. Yeah, so we got like this crazy string of Dr. Jekylls, but I haven't gotten an XP random in forever, sadly. Looking at the bank here, new items, ogre ribs, a handful of holiday items, another chaos talisman, some steel claws, 10 janker berries, a super restore, and 2 runite ore. I'm going to clean these up real fast. All right, bank's cleaned up. Here's the slow scroll, not so slow scroll. And let's look at the bank delta. This is the change in the bank from last cycle. Here we go. That's it. I think that's everything. So let's go ahead and talk about the new chunk. Okay, here we are on the chunk picker. This is going to change quite a bit because I've just discussed the rule change around quests. That was in, for you, from your perspective, a few episodes ago when we rolled Barbarian Outpost. But for me, it's only now applying. It would have applied to this Lighthouse chunk, I think, because Horror from the Deep is really the only thing keeping me from calling this one done. The gist of the rule change is that quests are no longer going to directly count for skipping the bonfire. If a quest starts in a chunk, then it might block us from completing that chunk if it also unlocks content that we can't exhaust there. But otherwise, we're only going to be looking at repeatable, exhaustible nodes when deciding whether a chunk is a reroll chunk or not. So a lot of these are marked with the quest marker right now. Those might get changed to a reroll once I get a chance to do some analysis here. But rather than relitigate the whole quest thing, I'm just going to go ahead and roll the chunk. And if it lands on a chunk that is affected by the rule, I'll talk about it. It might not even bother. It might not even matter because it might roll on a chunk that's not affected by the rule in the first place. So you've seen me talk about this in many previous episodes. This also includes these 2 chunks in Korend. Let's go ahead and roll and see what happens here. Okay, I think that's not great. Zogre Flesh Eaters starts here, and we definitely can't do it, but we have the rule change, so it would be affected by that. There are Skogres and Zogres, which are new, so it's not going to be a reroll no matter what. And I guess technically Achy Trees are here, but I think that counts. It's going to have to count. Jiggy Crypts. I don't even know if I can go in there until I finish the quest. I guess we'll find out. There could be some interesting stuff in here, depending on how far I can get with Zogre Flesh Eaters. So yeah, I think that because there are Skogres and Zogres here, and because of the Achy Trees, this is not a reroll. We are going to do this next episode. It is new content, but it will be nice to have come here because it's going to make the other chunks in the nearby areas with Achy Trees rerolls, potentially. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next episode. Bye.